to me. It happened to me. And if we go by this that we do as a professional institute, it's going to be great. This institute, we want to change lives. It's not a situation where we go and gather in where they drink, where they do this and that, but where lives can be changed, where our country that is in dire need of men who can turn things around will have them. And that is why I want to commend the entire board of CLMI, the entire management, and the entire fellows and the members for making this possible. I believe we go from strength to strength. And I believe we'll be able to touch lives. I believe we'll be able to spread the news for young men who are wondering about. A young man called me yesterday. He is working with a multinational. And then what happened was that they were supposed to supply goods to a customer. And then the driver failed to reach the customer on time. The management, the customer rejected the goods. He sacked the driver. The management said, no, it's not only the driver, you two must go. And then he's confused. And as he was talking to me, I remember what I heard from our last speaker, our last guest. I said, Mr. Man, you are already in a logistics job. Why do you want to break your head? Why don't you come into logistics? Why don't you come into CLMI? Just what I had last month is helping me to help another person this month. I believe today is not going to be different. It's going to be great. So I welcome our guests. I welcome all of you. And I believe that at the end of this meeting, we will be very, very happy. Remember, our conference is next month. It's November. And please, endeavor to attend. Endeavor to sponsor. Endeavor to bring somebody along. You will be changing that person's life. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that speech and also motivation approach from you, sir. So we really are excited to have you as a registrar. And talking about the conference, for every business owner, entrepreneur, we have slots available for you to advertise and to take to business. Something to be excited about, because we have even down to the exhibitions, down to the input into the brochure. These are actually advertisement things that we should take advantage of. And it's right now we're already on the peak of the executive. We have less than 2 months to watch it. And we believe that after these sessions, we are going to reach out in respect to the conference. Going into the matters of today, as we can all see this on our screen, the citation of our speaker, Mr. Wole Elusakin, CEO, GNL. He's smiling. So let me read citation. Mr. Wole Elusakin is a renowned Nigerian entrepreneur and business leader, best known as the founder and chief executive officer of Pomegranate Nigeria Limited, PNL, a fast emerging third-party logistics company. Under his visionary leadership, PNL has experienced exponential growth from single borrowed truck in 2009 to a fleet of over 200 trailers. PNL aims to increase its fleet to 500 to 600 trucks in the near future, solidifying its position as a prominent logistics and transportation company in Nigeria in 2022. PNL secured IJARA Sukuk financing to acquire 40 additional logistics trucks. Wole Elusakin business acumen and leadership skills have earned him recognition through various platforms, including his profile on Dun and Bradstreet. PNL has been featured in reputable business publications such as Business DNG, Nigeria Data, then showcasing its growth and contribution to Nigerian logistics industry. Looking ahead, PNL is poised for significant expansion, both domestically and internationally, with plans to establish a strong presence in countries like Rwanda, UK, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, I beg your pardon, and furthermore. PNL is set to launch PNL Hub, the first ever cargo hailing app in sub-Saharan Africa, which will be operational in all logistics where PNL is registered, including Nigeria, UK, Rwanda, and other countries to be added in the coming years. PNL is also in the process of establishing a frontier partnership with investors from France, China, and Middle East. As a leader, Wole Elusakin is committed to excellence, innovation, and building a world-class logistics company that meets evolving needs of its clients. His dedication to PNL growth success has earned him recognition as a prominent figure in Nigerian logistics industry. His married status is married with three children. Employment record is currently the CEO of PNL Nigeria. An educational record, he has Federal Polytechnic Jaro, Ilaro ND, and Marketing University of Lagos MBA, Marketing Lagos Business School, 2023 London Business School Executive Program 2024 at IMD Museum, Switzerland Executive Program 2024. That's the salutation of our speaker for today, Mr. Elusakin Wole. You do that?
Good afternoon, or good morning, sorry.
Good morning, sir. We are seeing the morning. You're welcome, sir.
All right.
How is everything going, sir?
Very well. So I don't know if by that citation you are handing over to me to commence the presentation.
Yeah, no, this I didn't get that, sir.
I said I hope with the citation you've just read, I can then take over the mic to commence my presentation.
Well, yes, the citation is you, so it's not me. So, so we just wanted to introduce it to the house so that they can have a full view of who is speaking to us today and understand the concept, the process of where you are coming from. So we're going to our session for today.
All right, thank you.
All right, your video is on. I mean, it's off. I mean, can you just put it on? Okay, better now. All right. So we are going to start with a brief presentation from you, and we are going to go into some questions and answers. Today's Happen to Me session, where you're going to be sharing your experience in the logistics business and how you've scaled and your impact that you've actually want upcoming entrepreneurs to listen to and also take note of, because it's something that when it comes to business, and we need experienced professionals like you to also tell young organizers that, okay, these are the steps I have taken that has worked for me, that actually got me to this space now. So if you're also coming, these are also the steps you should mind, so that there are potholes along the journey. Yeah, we know, but those potholes that need to be taken care of, and those are the things that we also wanted to share that.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm clear enough or loud enough.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So I would like to start by telling a short story about our company, PNL. The company was registered in 2009, December, when I saw the opportunity. But at the point of launching, I couldn't afford to even buy a truck tire, talk less of buying a full truck. And then I had to approach a lot of truck owners, independent truck owners in different garages. I was in paid employment then, but I had the vision of setting out my own business and leaving paid employment. So every weekend I would go to all the available garages to talk to the truck owners and pitch the idea to them. I was ready to use my salary to pay them upfront, but nobody was really interested until I met someone who happens to be the chairman of our company now and is the current Owa Loco of Iloko Jesha. He agreed to the proposal and he leased his truck to me, which was the first ever truck we used for our business. A couple of years down the line, we started buying some used trucks to kickstart the operation. Now, that was how we commenced the business. Of course, with a lot of fears in my mind. the fear of uncertainty, of living your salaried life to a life where nothing is going to, you don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, it took me a lot of sleepless nights to be able to break through that fear. Now, ask me today, is the fear still there? The answer is yes. Is the fear propelling me to wake up early every night, to keep thinking of how to reinvent things? Yes. So if you have fears there, it could be used positively or it could be used negatively. It could be a positive propeller for you, depending on how you see it. And that prompted me into asking us this question, because I know we have entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs on this platform. And the 3 questions I have for us are these. Number 1, how many of us would really like to be a successful person or individual or a business person? I believe that should be all of us. The second question, which I have penciled down, is to say to us, what is our definition of success? What is our definition of success? And the third one is success a destination or a journey for us? Now, depending on our response to the third question, that is what would determine the kind of fire that we're going to have in us every day. I want to appeal to us not to seek success as a destination. Success should be a journey. We shouldn't target to, once I have 100 trailers, I have arrived. No, it should be a continuous journey. Even when you have 100 trailers, you can move to 200. You can then move to Nigeria and Ghana and Sierra Leone and Liberia. You can then say, okay, the next thing in success is, so you need to keep reinventing yourself and not seek success as a destination. To launch and nurture a business successfully, especially logistic business, what are the key ingredients that we need to have? Of course, it is not exhaustive. I mean, what I have penciled down, the first thing we need to know is knowledge. Knowledge is power, and knowledge is unending. And again, we can acquire knowledge from every aspect of life and from every cadres in the industry, from people that are ahead of you, from people that are at par with you, or even from people that are lower than you. Drivers can pass knowledge to us. Dispatch riders, we can learn from them. We can learn tricks about every business from every cadres in the industry. So the first ingredient for us that we need to have is knowledge. One very important ingredient is patience. If you want to be a successful person overnight, logistic business is not for you. So it will teach you to be patient. Of course, a lot of us do scream, a lot of us do shout, and I can tell you what is that thing that prompts the screaming and the shouting. Sometimes it's fear of failure because we don't want to fail. But again, the business will teach you patience. And as the business is evolving for each and every one of us, one thing that is very, very important we must consider is structure. Structure is very important. At a point in the life of my business, we do not have HR departments. Not because we don't know that we don't need it, but the business cannot afford it. And then the moment you can afford it, we introduced it. At a point in time, our operation guys double as the CSO for the business. But now we can afford such a role. So these are the kind of structures we need to be building as we go on. Now, we must, as much as possible, try to see the end from the beginning. And then look at the kind of structure that would support the vision we have in mind. And then at the right time, you will inject the role into the business. As I am now, I know a lot of roles I need to fill with time. But right now, maybe the business cannot afford such structure. But the moment we get to that point that the business can afford it and it's important for us to have it, we will introduce it. It's like trying to build a 25-story building. And you want to use the structure of a story building to carry it. It's not going to carry the building. That's the way it is in business as well. So as the business is expanding, you would continue to pad it with the right structure. Of course, hard work is an important element in doing this our business. Logistic business is not for the lazy people or the people that want to oblate every Friday, because it's a 24 hours business. You know, some people tell me, oh, tomorrow is Independence Day. And in my head, I keep wondering, my clients want to move some goods. You are telling me tomorrow is Independence Day. Excuse me. I'm in a business to satisfy my customers. And if my customer wants to move goods on Christmas Day, my drivers should be there. Our team should be there to support the driver. So when people tell me, oh, it's a public holiday, I think we are designed to work 24/7. Yes, you can be working from home, but you must still be working. Any logistic founder or staff that wants to be chasing holiday is not ready to play in that sector. One thing that is also important that will stand us out is consistency. We must be consistent in the value delivery to our clients. And the final one that is important here is discipline. We cannot afford to live a reckless and indisciplined life, especially financially. Why is this very important? You could make 100 million naira today in your business, and you think you already have money that you can blow or use to enjoy life. And one single incident can wipe out the entire money. It is a highly risky venture that we're into. One driver misbehavior can wipe out 100 million naira in just a day. So imagine somebody who is financially reckless saying, oh, we already have 120 million naira now. It's time to now start enjoying life, or we have arrived. And then the incident happened. How will the person be able to absorb it? You know, so it is important to be financially disciplined as a logistic operator. Today, one of my staff just walked into my office. Oh, sir, a driver lost one tire yesterday, and today he called again that he lost two tires. So if you are not financially disciplined, how do you cope with such? Because the business is filled with a lot of, it is highly unpredictable. Things are highly unpredictable. So because of that, discipline in all aspects of life is very important. Even discipline in your health management. You cannot afford to be reckless with your health. You know, because one simple incident can shoot your high blood pressure up. So imagine if you've not been managing your health in a disciplined way. You know, disaster could happen. May that not be our portion. So these are some of the ingredients that we need to have as logistic practitioners. In addition to all of those ones, things are evolving very fast and very rapidly. And what do I mean by that? To catch up and to be abreast of things in the industry, we need to make use of technology. Technology makes your business visible to you at your fingertips. You know, it can make you see what drivers are doing on the road. It can even make you see what is happening to a driver inside his truck. Is the driver yawning while driving or on the phone while driving? With the aid of technology, we can see all of those things. So my appeal to us is to, as much as possible, introduce tech to our business. Now, in hiring of people, it is important to try and hire skilled staff. It is very important because it's part of the structure we need when we're building the business. You cannot be emotional in hiring people. You know, because your uncle knows someone and sent someone to you, you hire the person. Your wife brought somebody to you who is not competent, you hire the person. Your church people brought people to you, you hire them. At the end of the day, you would be the one to do all the work. And the structure you're trying to build will not stand.
you reading headlines across the globe.
Sorry, there's interruption.
There's headlines
There's an interruption from Olugbemi Akadiri.
The GMO is taking us to spotlight activities across the globe, while our GMO is not the most friendly on the water lake battle stories.
Can you please mute
Mr.
Mr.
Mute that person, please.
Can you please mute Mr. Olugbemi Akadiri? All right, thank you very much. Now, I was talking about hiring skilled staff. We shouldn't be emotional in hiring people because remember, we're trying to build a structure that would be sustainable. And especially when you're building your business to last. You know, yes, you can train your people, which is important, but at least as much as possible, you hire competent people. And don't be afraid to let go of people that are not right for your business. The heaven will not fall. You know, when you identify that someone is not right for your business, you let them go. In HR, there's something we call pure. Once you identify a staff to be pure, pure means previously unidentified recruitment errors. Previously unidentified recruitment errors. Once you identify a staff to be a pure, you assess the person and you let the person go. You know, so don't allow emotional blackmail. Work towards keeping value-oriented people in your business. Now, for logistics, I want to appeal to all of us. Insurance is a very vital component of our business. Even when there are claims and you are yet to get your claim sorted, the fact that you have an insurance policy in place would give you some level of rest of mind, knowing fully well that you will be compensated. That is just a matter of time. Please, we should not downplay the importance of insurance. Now, in running our business also in a standard way, we should over time build what I call SOP, standard operating procedures. That will help in guiding the structure that we want to build for the business. And then before the last point, we need to surround ourselves with people that are of value, good value orientation. For example, we can constitute board members or people that will be advising us. It could be a formal board or an informal board members. We should have people that we know can encourage us, advise us, guide our thoughts. We can share our ideas with, and they will lead us in the right path. It's very important because one person cannot think about a whole process all alone. Nobody can think about a process from end to the other end all alone. If you look at an idea yourself and you keep going back to the same idea again and again, you're most likely to be seeing the same thing. But once you have other people that can help you critique your ideas, which I call these people your board guys, it will go a long way in helping you to see another perspective to your ideas. And lastly, mentorship is very important. Mentorship is very important. And we should not have a stagnated mentorship. What do I mean by that? My mentor, when I had just 5 trucks, about maybe 15 years ago, may not be suitable for the same role now for me, that I'm looking at expanding my business to outside of Nigeria. So mentorship should be an evolving thing. Today, because I know I want to play outside Nigeria, I already picked an executive vice president, Middle East, from DP World as my mentor. Because he is already playing at the global stage. He's already seeing things from the global perspective. And because this is where I want to go. So I have to pick this guy to mentor me and guide me. If in the next 2 years, we are at that point where we're playing in almost 10, 15 countries, and I want to create a global brand, maybe by then I'll pick Elon Musk as my mentor. So what am I trying to say is, yes, mentorship is very important, but it should not be a stagnated mentorship. It should be a continuously evolving arrangement. Those are my few points for us today. ladies and gentlemen, and I hope I've been able to add some sort of value to us in this short time of my presentation. Thank you very much, and I'm open to taking all our questions.
All right, so now moving on to the podcast session. Thank you very much, Mr. Wole Elusakin, and that's a wonderful, brief presentation from you. Now, you mentioned about success being a journey. So quickly, I would first of all like to ask, now, in your journey of being success, what are the most maybe unexpected roadblocks you've ever faced in your business journey? So let's start from that aspect.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So at a point in our company, we were using the slogan, scaling the hurdles. Scaling the hurdles, which means on the road to success, we would meet a lot of hurdles. And believe me, as you are progressing in your journey, so also the hurdle will be getting more difficult and higher. And you can list them. We have environmental hurdles. We have quality staff hurdles that you need to overcome. You have financial or cash flow hurdles that you need to overcome. The lists are endless. However, what is also very important is that in facing these hurdles, we need to have a mindset that whatever hurdle we are facing, number one, it is not peculiar to us. We are not the only one facing that problem. So that's why the role of mentorship is very important. If you are choosing or picking up a mentor, which is someone that has gone ahead of you, they can effectively guide you when you tell them the specific problem or challenges you are facing, how they tackle theirs. And interestingly, they would make the problem look so small and not significant to you. We were burdened with a debt recently. And in the course of my program at the London Business School, I had a mentor by the name James. Now, the debt was quite high, but the way the gentleman simplified and broke the whole problem down, made it look so very simple and not so significant. You know, and I had to go use all the strategies he gave me, the ideas he gave me, to go back to the financiers to have the conversation. And the problem looked almost dissolved. I mean, during this period, I could hardly sleep. Even if you ask me to go and buy a pot of Hukobi, I will tell you I'm owing investors. I can't eat. But you know, that time, the guy made it look so simple. And today, we are more than halfway on the debt repayments, if not two-thirds. And you know, if you have a loan and you've paid two-thirds of the loan, you are almost home and dry. So I won't be able to give you specific problems because there are many, too many. Is it the people problem you want to talk about, or even the mentorship problem, that you have a mentor and you are telling the mentor you want to build a business outside Nigeria, and then the so-called mentor will tell you you have not even finished doing business in Nigeria, you want to go outside the country. Are you joking? So it means that such a mentor is probably not seeing the big picture that you are seeing. And the moment you tick all the boxes to kickstart your business, the mentor will say, wow, I'm sorry I didn't see the picture you were seeing. So the hurdles are numerous. But again, as they come, you approach your mentor, you approach people that have gone ahead of you to discuss those specific problems. And then you take it up from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have different hurdles. Now, let's talk about your growth and scaling. I remember you talked about how you started, when you started at PNL in 2009, that you had even no fund for tire, but right now you have over 20 to 40 trucks under your coach. Now, looking at the upgrade level of your business, so what can you say is the significant, the biggest upgrade moment for you? That point where you know that you have moved from small scale to large scale in a bigger capacity.
Okay, for me, I still don't see us as operating in that big scale for now. Maybe when we now cross over the 500 unit trucks or 1,000 unit trucks. And that comes back to the fact that success is still a journey. It's not a destination. If Alhaji Aliko Dangote can still consider himself as not being successful, quote and unquote, how much less those of us here? So it comes back to that same point that success is a journey. You will see a young man having an inflow of 50 million naira and shutting down a clubhouse to celebrate that money. What that tells you is that for that person, he sees success as a destination. So you, by their behavior, you would know. Or somebody would say, I have gotten 20 trucks, and then they will go and employ a personal security guard to be taking them up and down. The mindset of such people shows that success seems to be a destination, not a journey. So for me, again, success is a journey. And we are still in the process of that journey. Okay, however, yes, I have had to relate with some people that have, at some point in time, we've made some good turnings. When we had an injection of funds from Wema Bank, when they gave us funds to buy 25 trucks, and then another investor gave us some, running to billions of naira to buy more trailers. All of our investment or expansions are, I would like to say, are opportunity-laced. Of course, I'm actively in the market, pitching our business to prospects. And then when the opportunity comes, we approach financial houses to fund our proposals. And of course, aside being the CEO of the business, I'm also the business development manager of the business. So I am actively in the market looking for opportunity. And once I see an opportunity that tallies with our value as a business, we would log into it and then source for fund. And then one of my staff told me about 2-3 weeks ago that the way we're able to make some turning in the past 2 years was impressive to him. You know, moving from a seemingly small office to something slightly medium. That to him, it looks like magic. Now, because it's a journey, it might look like magic to someone who is not a key part of the vision. But for me, if we move to Ikoyi in the next 2 years, I won't be surprised. Because some of these things have been penciled down. If I want to have an office that I want to operate in UK, I want to operate in UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, then it won't be out of place if I also have my head office in Ikoyi. In a way, I can attract such medium, high profile target markets. You know, so again, success is a journey for us. And there hasn't been any particular time that we would say we've moved to that real level of being a large company. No, we're not there yet. By the way, if you don't know, that an investment came into Nigeria recently from DP World. And it was only MDS that was ready to attract such investments. And guess how many trucks they were able to buy with a single ticket check payment? They bought almost 600 trucks with a single check payment from DP World in UAE, right? So it tells us about, even if a company can still be driving to grow, then we are not there yet as an organization.
All right, thank you very much. And during the course of your conversation, you made mention about getting investors for business expansion and how they were able to get some trucks. Now, when it comes to entrepreneurs, so many entrepreneurs do are majorly focused, or sometimes majorly focused on finance. Looking at the pitching strategies to get investors to get your plans ready and also invest in your business, I'm sure you would have had experiences that you want to share that people or upcoming entrepreneurs can actually take an excuse from what you've done and learn and also apply it as part of their own strategies if they are looking for investors. to be investors ready.
Okay. So basically for us, we've been working with banks and then the capital markets investment house. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. So for us, basically, we've worked only with banks, and then we've worked with capital market investors. I would like to start by saying that, guys, relationship is the biggest currency we can ever have. Relationship is the biggest currency we all can ever have. Because all of the people that have supported us in raising funds from the banks, from Sterling Bank to Wema Bank to the capital market are people we've had relationship with over the years. I remember when my neighbor and a friend took me to meet the current MD of Sterling Bank now. It was the ED, that's Abubakar Suleiman. Very wonderful man. After interaction with him and with my friend and neighbor, he told him, "Are you sure we can put our money on this guy?" And he said, "Just tell me yes or no." And the guy said, yes. He said, "I have known him for a couple of years. He's not a reckless guy." Now, we need people that can speak for us. So whatever disposition we put forward today, those are the EBA, whatever EBA we put in today are the things we will withdraw tomorrow. And those things will determine if you are an investable person or not. And what do I mean by EBA? It is emotional bank account deposits. You know, how helpful are you to your neighbors, your friends? How warm are you to them? Those things are emotional bank account deposits. And then you never know where you will withdraw from them. You know, you have an opportunity to help people within your capacity, just do it. Because you as an entrepreneur need a lot of that. And because there are times you would withdraw from it. The last withdrawal I made, if I can share the story with us, was of a gentleman who was working as a vice president at FCMB, that's Ahmed Lawal, reporting directly to Ladi Balogun. But for a number of years, I couldn't get his attention, even though we're friends. And a year passed, he set up his own business, he ran into some financial trouble, and then he was taken to a police station near my office. I was informed by another friend to see him. Oh, yes, I went there. And I never said because he didn't give me audience over the past time, I wouldn't attend to him. No, I did attend to him. And the last 3 million I had in my account then, I dropped the money to release him. And what I told the gentleman was, I did not borrow you this money. If you have a means to pay back, pay back. If you don't have any means to pay back, that's fine. And guess what? I was able to withdraw from that deposit. Of course, the gentleman paid me back the money. He paid back the money. I was able to withdraw the deposit back in form of 2.2 billion naira capital market investments. Yes, these are well documented. And when I was struggling to pay back, I report myself to his office every month to say, Ahmed, these are the challenges. This is where we are today. These are the things we're struggling with. This is how much we can pay now. And then one of his staff was trying to harass me. And you know what he told the staff? He said, will you get out of my office? The day they arrested me and locked me up, that this guy came to bail me out. Where were you guys? Now, it doesn't mean you will withdraw from all your deposits. Don't get it wrong. But as much as possible, we should try and invest in people's emotional bank accounts because we're going to withdraw from that. And all of the people that have supported me are people that I can say I have invested in, either in kind or in cash. In fact, more in kind than in cash. So you walk into a bank today, your neighbor is a branch manager in a bank. Can your neighbor, who is a branch manager, vouch for you to be a good guy? That when you collect the money, you don't go and marry second or third wife. So So we need people to be able to speak for us. And for me, I have benefited immensely from that. Even when we're struggling to pay back, the guys will tell you, we know you have not wasted the money. So that's an important aspect we need to understand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Then talking about reference to needing people to be able to speak for us. Now, this conversation which you just discussed now is bringing us to the next question. And I wanted to put it in this slide. Now, you see, when it comes to business, there are some certain things that you'll be going through. But when something happens, it changes your perspective about the business. Now, what's that one deal or experience that has completely changed your mindset in the way you look at business right now, different from how you started?
So the business for me started as a side hustle.
Oh.
So I was working in Nestle then as brand manager, and then from there moved to Reckitt Benckiser as category manager, and then I became the head of marketing activation West Africa. And then my former boss at Nestle moved to Danone, which at that time bought Fan Milk in Nigeria, and told me to resign and join him. Now, interestingly, that my boss, a Swiss, is now a member of my company's board. And is one of my biggest critic. When we hold our board meeting, it will be on my neck like this. You know? So the business that started as a side hustle, I never saw, even though I had a vision of making it successful. But then, you know, when you started as a small business, you overlook a lot of things. Your attention to details might not be so significant. But as you grow in the business, you would continue to understand more and more things, and then you'll be applying those knowledge on a daily basis. If I look back over the years, drivers that I interviewed 10 years ago, and they passed the interview, if driver come for interviews today, they may not pass with the same knowledge. The finance manager that I employed 4 years ago, if I'm going to employ a finance manager today, the kind of questions I would ask will be totally different, because for me, every day that passes, I learn new things. Every day. So if I meet a finance person today, I would interact with you, I would take a lot of points away. And those would help improve my knowledge base. So if I'm talking to another finance person in a subsequent time, you're not meeting a finance rookie that you spoke with some months ago, because I want to test those knowledge. And that was why I said knowledge is a very, very important component of doing business, any kind of business. Knowledge is very important. So, and as the CEO, you must be able to speak HR language to an extent, finance language, operations language, investors language. You must be almost an all-rounder. You must be able to review audited reports. You must be able to understand taxation. If not 100%, you must have those minimum knowledge. So it is not a particular incident that has changed people or that has changed me in person, but it's a continuous thing. Now talk about employment. There was a time I employed 2 of my siblings and I had to fire them. Until date, it became a major problem in the family, but I don't care. Because the first thing is I also want to survive first. And that particular incident made me to realize that I can sack anybody. In fact, among my staff then, there was this gossip that if Mr. Wole can fire his immediate blood brothers, then nobody can be spared. So, however, because it's a journey, we keep learning and we keep applying those knowledge as needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. As a CEO, you need to be an all-rounder in all ramifications, business-wise, HR-wise, operational-wise. Now, let's talk about strategy and innovation. Technology is reshaping logistics and business everywhere. So how do you see innovation changing trucking and entrepreneurship in general?
So let's start with AI.
Okay.
With AI, you can put your proposal together in one day. Something that previously would probably take you maybe almost 1 week to finish. And all of this actually key into our own value system. With AI or with all this technology, I mean, with CCTV being planted in your trucks, if a driver is not a sincere person, you would know. With tracking system, if a driver deviates from his journey and comes back to say, oh, some products were missing, you can trace it to all of those movements. You understand? So any business that is not ready to imbibe the use of technology will die eventually. I'm telling you, as things are going, anyone or any business who is not ready to welcome technology or the use of tech, such a business will die with time. It's just a matter of time. I mean, imagine the story of Nokia that said they didn't do anything wrong, but the company still had to die. Such a big conglomerate, because it's an ever-changing time that we're in now. On almost a daily basis, you wake up and you hear of a new invention, of a new improvement or way of working. So any business that is not ready to welcome the use of tech will die eventually. There's no two ways about it. I mean, with tech, you can measure the speed of your business, the speed of your assets on the road. You can even switch off your trucks from your office. I mean, we have a device like that. That one time when our driver took another journey, went to go and do his own thing, from my phone, I put off the truck. Until he was able to confess to me, say, okay, I'm at so place. Please free me, let me come back. So with tech, with tech, we can go very far. And we can scale up very fast. But without tech, a business like that would not stand the test of time. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, you are. Just I would like if you can share with us the type of device you used in shutting down the truck. For those who have
no, I mean, we did not develop the device. We bought it from a supplier.
Yeah. Okay.
So they are all tracking devices. So I can link you up with our suppliers. I can link you up with our suppliers. They are just basic tracking devices. In fact, there are more advanced devices than even those ones. That is one that you'll be seeing if your driver is using telephone while driving, it will send notification to you that your driver is driving and is not focusing because he's carrying phone. You will see the video. If your driver is not using seat belts, you will get notification. If your driver is carrying more than enough people in the cabin, you will get notification. If your driver is smoking while driving, you will get notification.
Wow.
So there are even more advanced devices than even the one I used almost 4 years ago.
Thank you very much in the aspect of AI. Now, if in terms of business now, I'm sure that one thing about business or entrepreneur owners is that take risks. And taking risks has been part of entrepreneurship journey. Now, I don't know if there's any risk that you've taken that surprisingly turned out to be a jackpot.
Well, I would say the risk is the most successful of my businesses is the transport logistic business.
Oh.
Even though it's also the most difficult. The ones that I expect to be a lot easier, a number of them turned out to be a total failure. So it is not about how you perceive a business from outside. It's about how you are able to just manage it through. I went into a small manufacturing business and I got frustrated completely. And this is something that other people have been doing successfully. Meanwhile, logistics, a lot of guys will tell you they can never do the business. That business is not meant for normal people. So I would say the most successful for me, of course, I have some other financial investment here and there. So those ones do not need my physical involvement. But the one that involves the one that requires my being physically involved, that has been successful is logistics, actually. And I'm thankful to God for that.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Because I was thinking you had one experience you would like to share to us, sir.
About logistics.
Yeah, when you mentioned that going to logistics, you said logistics is not for normal person. So what are the experiences that make you give this conception?
You have to be less emotional. You have to be less emotional. When you're an emotional person, you will not survive in the business. That's the truth. If you're an emotional person, imagine someone steals goods and they walk up to you to start begging you. When these people start begging you, you will be convinced that what they were telling you was the truth. But when you now decide to dig deep and then you uncover the real thing, that'll be like, wow, I almost accept that this guy was saying the truth. You understand? So for you to be successful or to record some level of success, number one, you need to take out emotions. Number two, you need to test all information. Believe me, it's not as if you don't trust your people, but to a large extent, at least validate what they are telling you. Before you can even say you're committing or you're trusting someone outrightly, conduct some tests back to back to be sure if that person is saying the truth or not. Because it's easy to flip to the negative side in the business. Like I said, 1-2 incidents can wipe off the entire business. We've seen a lot of examples, in the industry where some people are doing the business, and years down the line, you see them and they tell you, oh, they have to leave that business line. And when you hear the stories, it's nothing far from, oh, this incident happened, this driver took these goods away. And guess what? These people that are stealing, it's not like they can make a success out of their life with the stolen goods. But because unfortunately they see success as a destination. That's why, have you heard of some people that will tell you, if you give me 50 million, I am made for life. They say, give me 50 million and I'm made for life. And you keep wondering, so what will you do with 50 million? They don't know. And then I bet you such people, they will come back in 12, 18 months' time. The story will be different, it will be the same. So, because most people see success as a destination, that's why they look for that block sum of money. Somebody will just tell you, give me an idea. Just assist my idea. So those are the kind of people that sees success as a journey, which is very important.
All right. So thank you very much. If you have questions, you can drop a comment in your question in the chat. We'll take it one after the other. Then I want to ask this particular question. Now, in trucking, not every load is worth carrying. But when it comes to business, have you ever said no to an opportunity? Or what kind of opportunities have you seen and said, no, this is not for me?
Plenty.
Yes.
Plenty. I think some of my colleagues are on this platform so they can hear me and they can relate to this very well. So there's this client that we moved some drugs for. I wouldn't want to mention their name because now we are back on business terms. And then I look at their style, it's very chaotic, but they want you to fill the gap for their lapses. Not minding the risk, you are carrying. For example, imagine somebody wanted to travel from Lagos to Kano in 2 days for something that typically would take you 3.5 days. Saying no, your driver should be able to drive 24 hours non-stop. And then when I assessed such account, I said, no, thank you very much, guys. We won't be able to work for you again. End of story. You know, that's one example. There are companies in Nigeria that we cannot work for. I have some names, yes, but I wouldn't want to mention those names. And the reason why I cannot work for them is because you cannot be guaranteed of timely payments from them. And for us, cash flow is king. In logistic business, cash flow is king. If someone promises you that you get your payment in 1 week, or in 2 weeks, or in 1 month, you would plan your cash flow around that. And then if somebody was saying, by contract, we will pay you in 1 week, and then the next 3 months, you're still saying, how far with my money? In the next 6 months, you're still begging them. We have an example like that. You know, a large manufacturing company, we had to exit them. So thank you very much. We can't work for you guys. Because I don't want to have staff that will not be paid their salary on time. And the inflow from these guys would support our cash flow a big way. You know, so there are instances where we've said no to a lot of companies. As a matter of fact, we only work for maybe I think about 5 or 6 companies, but 6 credible, reliable companies. And then they also give us volume. So in logistics, you don't need too many accounts. You don't need too many accounts. Max, you have 10, you're good, depending on the volume of your assets. You know, so that's what it is.
The volume is more important than the quantity.
Yes, yes. So we go for quality. We go for quality clients, not just a quantity.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Then talking about daily habits for consistency. So I know when it comes to consistency, many entrepreneurs have found it difficult to uphold this thing. So let's share. Can you share experience in terms how you've been able to stay consistent week in, week out throughout this year?
So being consistent means sometimes you are predictable. Yeah. For example, I mean, except for my head of operation that sometimes will tell me, oh God, you don't need to respond to these people, just let me handle it. They know that if I see anything on the platform and my staffs are not responding on time, I will respond. So they can predict me. They can already predict how I'm going to react to things. You know, so even your client can predict you. Your client know these guys would follow up with this to the latest. You know, so it's not maybe sometimes it's not nice to be predictable, but again, it's also not nice not to be consistent. They know that if our drivers are delaying delivery and they escalate on our platform, I will jump on the matter myself. They said, if your guy should hear, I know he will jump on it. So it's part of being consistent. So they know what it's about, the value delivery that you carry. That will take me into this point about the core value of our business. We used an acronym called SISTER. The first X stands for safety of goods and personnel. We take it very seriously. Recently, I think about 2 days ago, one of our trucks was involved in an accident. And the operation manager messaged me, oh, so vehicle had an accident around Kaduna. The first thing I asked the guy, is the driver fine and safe? He said yes. And that was it for me. I said, okay, once the driver is fine and safe, we're good. The rest we can fix. But we cannot fix life that is lost. So the second letter in the, can you hear me, please? Hello? Oh,
We can.
Yeah.
Hear.
oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. The second letter in our core value is integrity. You must be as honest as possible when you're dealing with your client, especially the kind of client you're dealing with. Because any slightest smell of lacking integrity could cost you your account. Imagine dealing with a client like Nestle, and you went ahead to falsify a document. You lose your contract immediately. Immediately, they don't even care how valuable you are to them. So we need to imbibe those practices by force. The third part and the fourth part is ST, speed and timeliness. Not only on delivering of goods, also even in sending in reports internally. It's very important to do things on a timely manner and an excellent customer service. And then the last one is respect. For example, we take respect so seriously that if a staff of our clients should assault our driver, we would take it very seriously against that client. Yes, they are paying us, but we will not allow our client to assault the least set of people in our company. You know, so we believe respect should be mutual for both to our clients and from our client to us. So I hope I've been able to answer your question there.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Thank you.
And let's talk about giving yourself an advice. We are currently rounding up in this session before going to question and answer from the audience. So let's talk about giving yourself an advice. I'm sure if your younger self, while growing up, if you could look back and say, okay, I want to advise my younger self in terms of business, what would you tell your younger self?
Whew. That's an interesting question. Maybe I would have told myself to be hungrier. Maybe I didn't take enough risk. Or maybe I allowed too much fear to eat into me. That's number one. Then number two, I would have advised myself to have read more books that could help shaping who I am today. Yes, I've read a number of books, but maybe I could have read more. Because again, it's about knowledge. It's about knowledge. I mean, I think I haven't been hungry enough about success, about growing the business, about driving myself, you know, to move forward in the business. Yes, people complain that I drive myself too hard, but I don't think I have done enough in doing that. You know? So that's the advice I would have given to my younger self.
Okay, younger self is listening to you now.
Yes, he's listening.
All right, sir. Then down to finally about mindset shift. I know it's when it comes to a mindset, some people mindset are actually fixated about some certain principles. Now let's look at what mindset shift has helped you break through a particular stock stage in your business.
Okay, so say that again.
I mean, what mindset shift that has helped you break through a particular top stage in your business journey?
If I'm going to be honest, you see, the biggest mindset, the biggest thing that's shaping my mindset and keep shaping it is the fear of failure, fear of poverty, hunger, the fear of not being able to pay my children's school fees, the fear, like I said in the earlier part of this conversation, fear can be a positive tool and it can be a negative tool. When I was going to quit my final place of work, you know, I was meant to give them a month notice. I offered them 3 months. And the HR manager asked me, Wole, why are you giving us 3 month notice? Your contract says 1 month. I said, Olumide, calm down. Let me give you 3 months. I don't know if I'll change my mind. And for almost a month, after dropping that letter, I couldn't sleep. I would get to the house by 6 p.m. I would go to bed by 7 p.m. If I managed to sleep off by 12 midnight, I'm up already. Because the fear for me was real. This was a place where I had an official car. They fueled my car. They changed the car batteries. They pay insurance. Now I'm the one to be doing everything myself. But the moment I made up my mind to move out, and I realized that, guy, if you don't change your mind, you go suffer. You won't be able to pay your children's school fee. I mean, the fact that you don't want to even go back to your friends and beg them, say, guys, support me. And you know you're carrying something that you can utilize well. You know, it's a big mindset shifter for me. And it's still influencing me to date. On Sunday, I was in the office from like 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. working on a proposal. And I can go on like that for days because there's a thin line between being able to afford and not being able to afford. Very thin line. And I know that hard work, patience, discipline, consistencies are necessary ingredients to be able to provide all of this. You know, even as an employee, have the same mindset. I mean, at my days at Nestle, I go to the office on Sunday to work. At my days at Farm Milk, I work hours on ending. And because for me, I also see these things as a way of building myself. That when I decide to start doing my own thing, it's not going to be new to me. I know a couple of entrepreneurs that they will tell you they will not leave their house until 10, 11 a.m. every day. Tell me, what are you going to be doing if you leave your house 10, 11 a.m. to come to the office? Even people that you are leading would see this behavior and they would emulate it gladly. But when they know you know, people would likely want to follow that kind of pattern. So the biggest mindset adjuster for me is that fear. And I know that if used properly, it will lead to success for me. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, sir. That's something. I mean, the fear of failure, poverty, it's something people should be afraid of. All right, so finally, I just wanted to just discuss something. You talk about entrepreneurs leaving their houses between hours of 10, resuming, and the staff of the organization emulating it. Don't you think if there are principles and things in place, such kind of thing, I mean, from the staff emulating those principles or those kind of patterns might be, if the organization is well structured enough, stuff like that might not happen.
Yes, structure is one thing. Leadership by example is another thing. I'm sure you've heard about that before, leadership by example. That even in family setup, they tell you your children would do what they see you do, not necessarily what you say to them. The same thing applies in
yes, you can hear you, sir.
Not necessarily what you tell them. The same thing applies at workplace. You can tell your staff, oh, let's be punctual at work. The question is, are you punctual yourself? Can they tell that if you don't come to the office, you are definitely doing business missing somewhere. Or they will say, leave Ogajari is at home. And over time, they would follow that pattern. Oh, it's just a matter of time. They will follow it. And then you give them deliverables. You say, okay, and then they don't deliver on time and they think it's normal. I mean, for me, meeting attendance is very important. And not just attendance, you must come in on time. You know, I consider it disrespectful when you set a meeting for 10 o'clock and people are strolling at 10:02, 10:03. Like, okay, it doesn't matter. I mean, one of the things I mentioned as part of the necessary ingredients is discipline. All of these are very important. You know, structure is one thing, but people that will run the structure is another thing. Don't forget, structure will not stand in isolation of people. Even the structure we're talking about is about people in the system. So if the people are not disciplined enough, starting from the leader of the business or the owner of the business, everybody will follow the same pattern. It's as simple and as honest as that.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Wole, for such powerful insights from growth strategies to handling portals and from innovative thinking to timeless wisdom. We believe that this session has been insightful and has been so full of practice and knowledge. So right now we are to our listeners and to viewers. Now we are going into the question and answer. Do you have any questions for our speakers for today? And let's want to take it. You can type your question in the comment section. You can just read through it, and while the speaker answers, we really be appreciative of that. All right, I think we have one question. Okay, from Mr. Godwin. All right, so let me quickly just ask the question from Mr. Godwin. He said, please, can you give the full meaning of pure?
I have responded to that already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pure is previously unidentified recruitment errors.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's like someone coming for an interview and telling you they can work under pressure, for example. And then when you now turn on the pressure by just 10%, they begin to cry that you want to kill them. That's an error in the area of recruitment. You understand? That's just an example anyway. Or somebody telling you they can, what example can I give? Oh, they know how to recruit people perfectly. Or they can explain audited financial statements. And then you now give them a statement on resuming. And then they couldn't explain anything. You know? So I mean, just like a driver telling you, I can drive a truck. Okay, I'll come and resume. You toss the truck key at them, and they can't even just start it. That's recruitment error. So that's what it means. And once you identify such, you don't keep them. Because what the people will start telling you is, sorry, can you find another job for them? Okay, if they say they can do it now, they cannot do it because you've employed them. Can you look for something else for them to be doing? You know, you're not in business to be doing charity or to be doing NGO. You know, so such a person, you show them the way out.
Thank you very much for that, son. So, do you have any question for our speakers from the audience? You can use the hand icon. Just raise your hand. We have some takeaway from. We have Dr. Francis and the Vice Chairman of the Institute. All right, Ma, you have so right now.
Yeah, mine is just to add up to one or two things, just a little comment, and to really appreciate Mr. Wole. Each time we bring speakers here, sometimes you think that what you had yesterday was last month was was the end of it, but every speaker is unique, and it's everyone wows us. CLMI is really blessed to have such fellows and people in our midst. So I actually pen down quite a lot of takeaways for me, because whenever I said anything, I have been entrepreneur for almost 30 years. But whenever I come and I listen, I come with an open mind. I come as a child. I empty myself so that I know there's something new to take from everyone. And it's like you would never even knew anything. So thank you so much, Mr. Wole. But I think he tried to clarify that when Mr. Iman was saying, what if the entrepreneur is doing something at home? I think I believe he's speaking about the spirits. So someone may just be at home and say, oh, I'm going to be at the office 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and you go anytime. In fact, you can't even say you are successful if you are not disciplined with time. But I know that sometimes you may, entrepreneur may, and Mr. Wole, you may ascertain if I'm right or wrong. You entrepreneur or CEO may say, okay, look, let me stay off somewhere to concentrate and do so there'll be distractions. So you stay at home or stay somewhere to do some work, and the important thing he's talking about is that there is a high level of discipline, and the subordinates know that you are, on top of your game. Someone, entrepreneur, for instance, sometimes I tell my staff, I say that, look, I've been up since 5. Sometimes I'm up since around 1 a.m. and doing one or two things. You don't have the time to sleep, you don't have the time to wake up, but that level of discipline must be there. And even the people under you must know that you are someone who is the courage of discipline. I'm sure that's what Mr. Wole is talking about, so that we don't go with a misconstrued understanding that once you don't see your boss in the office, oh, that person is playing. I'm sure Mr. Wole may want to collaborate with that.
You're very correct, man. So what I was referring to is a case of a habitual socialites.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, sometimes I take time off to go and work in a private place, to be able to finalize some proposals, for example. Sometimes I might even stay back at home, maybe just to do some fitness program, to be able to, renew myself. But I'm talking about the habitual one that, Oga will not wake up until 9 a.m. Oga will still need to watch movie at home till 10. So that's the one I'm talking about, not the type that you take time off to go and work. It's more about discipline, anyway, not about the 8 to 9, 8 to 5 kind of a thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like you said, ma, entrepreneur work, business owners or entrepreneurs work even longer hours. There are times you wake up 11 p.m., 2 a.m. and you resume work. And in such instances, imagine you work from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. You might need to just take a little bit of rest. Before you hit the road the next day. So thank you for the clarification, man.
Thank you, Mr. Wole.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Famchizoman. We have a question here from Dr. So it started with a compliment that what an amazing thank you. And he asked, how does your company cope with the deplorable state of our roads? And what do you think can be done by private organizations in partnership with government to change the narrative and improve the country's logistic performance index?
So how do we cope with the deplorable? It's an everybody's problem, really. You know, it's not something that affects just our company or company B, C, D, or E alone. So it's all what we all are involved in. And I think what can be done really is for transporters body, if we have any association as strong as that, to liaise with the government, you know, in helping to identify and fix some of these routes, these key routes, because in a large way, it's even going to affect food supply or food surplus or supplies in the markets, you know, and the implications should be highlighted to the government. So to those who have access to people in the seat of government or seat of power should always sing out these things to them, you know, because road network in Nigeria is very important to food surplus and food supply. Imagine if farmers cannot send foods from north or east to Lagos, and then finished product from Lagos up north and the south and the east. It's going to be a big problem, you know. So I think the problem is real. The problem is there for everybody to see, but maybe those in government are not seeing enough of it. So we need to make effort to document all of these challenges and then share with them for attention, and hoping that they'll be able to respond to it. Thank you.
So that's the two-in-one question. You're talking about the partnership. What do you think can be done, private organization partnership with government, to change the narrative and improve the country's logistic performance index?
We know that the road network are good. Delivery will be faster, turnaround timeline would improve, and even the cost of goods, the finished goods and raw material, will not be so heavily impacted, as it were. So again, it comes back to document all of these routes, because don't forget, once we ply the road and arrived at our destination, once we ply the road and apply at our destination, we forget about the problems. So it comes down to us to document all of these things. It's like someone who is suffering from a particular problem. The moment you get out of that problem, we almost forget about the problem. You understand? So we just need to be conscious about documenting these challenges and then passing these documented problems to people that can solve the problem. And it should be done in partnership with the private sector as well. I mean, we are the private sector operators. Maybe the person that raised the question is talking about big manufacturing companies, I don't know, but we're all in the same private sector. And it can be done through a properly formed association like what we have now.
All right. Thank you very much for the response. Thank you to that, and thank you, Mr. Wole, for your question. And do we have any more questions or any contributions to go on this a wrap from the day? Okay, so I'm allowed statement of.
Okay. Good afternoon. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, good afternoon. We can hear you, sir.
Okay. I must say a big thank you for making this amazing presentation, sir, Mr. Wole. It's been a very awesome time, I must confess.
Thank you, sir.
And I must also thank CLMI, distinguished Professor Emeje and Mommy Chisobam. I mean, because I think, like you just said, documenting these problems and preferring solutions that can be presented to, the people in government for implementation. And I think that's the way to go, because the country is in their need of solutions at the moment. We have insecurity, the bad roads. This impacts negatively on logistics in the country. right? So my other question will be that, how do you think we can push out the good work of CLMI? Because to be honest, the work CLMI is doing is so big that we do not even recognize it yet. So I'm looking at, what do you think we can do, to let government know that CLMI has what it takes? I mean, look at the quality of information we are getting from you, courtesy of CLMI. So my question is, how do you think we can really impress on government to look at institutes like this, for solution? Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I believe there are bigger institutes in the country that we can form a synergy with. As it is already, I know there's a partnership with LASU, there's a partnership with University of Lagos and another institution outside of the country. We can also consider Lagos Business School as well. Because the truth is, logistics is a critical component of any economy. You would remember that during COVID-19, logistics sector was one of the few sectors that was given pass to operate freely during the period. Because we all know that if logistics should shut down, there will be a major crisis in the economy. So riding on this importance, I think we need to look for bigger collaborations, maybe with bodies like the National Assembly, or some government parastatals, maybe Ministry of Finance, maybe CBN, to be able to give us a bigger leverage or bigger visibility, wherein the importance of the sector through CLMI can be highlighted nationally, and also help us to start taking critical role, in the economy. I don't know which ministry can be linked more effectively to CLMI, but top of my head, I'm thinking of transportation.
Exactly.
I'm thinking of transportation. So the minister should be a member of the governing council of CLMI, for example, or an honorary member, of the body. In that way, it can really help to push the body into a limelight. And then I see CLMI becoming the icon, quote and unquote, of the sector in no time.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Wole, and thank you so much, Dr. Wole, on that. On that note, before we actually come to the round up on this, I'd like to brief now. I'd like to call on the registered beneficiary, Mr. Parabi, to talk in respect to the last question. Mr. Parabi, can you just ask?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Oh, great. The issue of roads is a serious one. It's not only road that is affecting logistics, even security as mentioned. But this is why CLMI is always requesting that practitioners should attend the international conference, because it is a platform where we can tell government as a body what exactly we need to prosper this sector. This is a sector that is now helping the country. You will agree with me that a lot of young people have been taken off the street by this business, by logistics. If you go to Djibouti in Yaba, Lagos, if you go to Utako in Abuja, and everywhere, you will see that a lot is being done. But just about a month ago, trailers spent over 3 days, 4 days in the road leading to Bida, going to Mina. I'm sure Mr. Wole's truck, one of them may have been involved.
Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
Good. Now, what we need to do is that we need every fellow, every member, just as we were doing now, to be able to come together occasionally to let government know what is happening to the sector, to speak with common voice. I can tell you that CLMI, as we promised, will always lead us to that. We have taken it up as a duty to bring every practitioner together so that we can speak with common voice. For example, we do have regulators and the regulated meetings. I don't know whether anyone here attended the one we had last year. The regulators and the regulated. For example, also, we ensure that the guest speaker, this convention, this investiture, international conference, is the chairman of NPA. We bring relevant persons who you can speak to directly and relate to directly. Because, like Prof, our chairman has told us, and he will tell us before we close, the funding, the availability of resources in this sector is great. It can save Nigeria, it can take Nigeria out of doldrums. So I really want to say it is what pains us that our members go through all of this. You want to supply, like our guest speaker is saying now. There are companies that want you to be in Kano in 3 days. But how can you be in Kano in 3 days? When the road through Abaji is bad. How can you be in Kano in 3 days when the road through Iloni is unpassable? And then they lose lots of money. I think very, very soon, and I can assure you that CLMI on our part, we are putting program together. What we only want is that when we call on you, we want your support. When we call on you to address government. For example, this international conference coming up, the Senate chairman on communication will be attending. He's going to share the event. We're also working on bringing the Minister of Transportation. So we are doing all of this so that the business can continue to grow, and then all of us can grow and our country can grow. We urge you to join us. We will not keep quiet. We write to government. We do our researches. And then because we are a research institution, we do our researches, we get to understand the problems, and we get government to know. The challenge that we have, all of you may know that, is that people in government, it's as if you are practically begging them to attend programs where they can know, where they can understand what is happening, where they can get first-hand knowledge of the issues that is ravaging our country. But then we will not relent. And we say that if any of you also have any of them, like the speaker said, you do all these things by connection. When you are not connected, you write, they will not attend. They rather want to attend the function in Dubai. They want to attend the function in United Kingdom. They don't want to attend the one in Lagos. So we assure you that CLMI, going from here, we have robust programs to keep the government at alert. For example, you will know it is at our last event that we try to resolve the issue of policemen harassing riders, bike riders. And that it was at our last meeting, stakeholders meeting. We will continue to do that, and we assure you that we will not fail. As to what you can do for CLMI, what you can do for CLMI is continue to encourage your colleagues to be part of the system. Let us team together. Let us work together. Let us speak together. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. And on that note, before we round up and also we'd like to call on the executive chairman of the Institute, distinguished Professor Simon immediately to give us, in respect to the last question, and also the closing session.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, our Chief Wole. Happy to see your face.
Good afternoon, Prof.
I know the last time we were in your office, I think it's up to 3-4 years now.
No, but 2.5 years, sir.
Okay, okay. So we thank God you are doing very fine. And though you will not agree that you are doing fine yet, because
it's a journey, sir.
It's a journey. That slogan, I think we should carry it out very well to the whole industry. Success is not a destination. Success is a journey. See, I love that very much. I love that. We want to really appreciate you very, very much for making our time to talk to us. The Holy Book said they overcame by the word of their testimony. Allow me to say this. You know, when you were speaking, I was beating my chest somehow because I said, how I wish the whole industry, the whole of the industry in Nigeria, with all the leaders, will come to hear come to this platform to hear everything you are saying. Because we have upcoming entrepreneurs, we have those who have been there seriously, we have those who are multinationals and so on. But you see, when you hear practically, which is one of the things CLMI is emphasizing, that there's a difference between the theory and the practice. There's a difference between realities that we can talk about. When somebody talks about what he has read in the book, it's different from when somebody talks about a combination of the theory and the practice. You will learn so much from there. And we thank God we are recording this, and it will go down our records to keep pushing the message across to many people and to the whole industry. You know, so like the last question says, is one of the reasons this platform has been created, because we discovered that there are some veterans in the industry who have gone through a process to a point, and these people have acquired practical knowledge apart from their theoretical knowledge. And it would be very nice for them to speak out. They said, if you light a candle and put the light under the table, nobody sees it. It's just darkness. But if you put it on the table, it will help people to see. And that is what this kind of thing is meant to do, that you share from practical experience, deriving from whatever you have read in the books, and it's going to be more meaningful. The issue of government, for instance, is a very serious issue to all of us, to the industry, and particularly CLMI is anchoring this very, very profusely, if I'll put it that way. Because like the registrar said, we had an interface between the regulators and the operators some time ago. And the reason we did that and we're still doing and will continue to do is because we have had reports from the industry that the business environment, which is supposed to be made conducive for all the operators, is not as it should be. So you hear a lot of operators complaining of regulation, complaining of roads, complaining of all of the things you can think of, like it was asked. And we felt that, look, we should have an interface. That interface has been enlarged to this, our international conference. It's one of the major things we want to achieve. We bring the press, we bring the industry leaders, then we bring top government functionaries who are strong decision makers to hear us, because you will agree with me, agree with us that the industry is huge and the asset there is a lot. The income that will come or is supposed to come from that place is a lot. As we speak now, we know that the logistics industry is adding not less than 4.5 to 5% of GDP to Nigerian GDP, and which to me is a lot. We are talking of an industry that has assets worth over 15 to 17 trillion naira. It's not a small industry. Yet the government is not paying enough attention. I'm happy you gave an example of what happened during the COVID. It's a little insight that government saw, even the global economy saw that, look, this is an important industry. And what we try to do, therefore, is to gather ourselves together, and begin to speak to ourselves. The international conference is supposed to be a forum, like the registrar said, where we air all of the things we are discussing. Let's speak out. When we speak out, we package it. We package whatever we are saying, because there's going to be a communique at the end of the conference. And that communique is going to be sent to the press, is going to be sent to the government. And of course, because we are bringing some top government functionaries, they are hearing live what the industry is all about and how important the industry is. So as they are hearing and the operators are talking, who are driving the industry, it makes a very good package that the government will begin to listen. We have been trying to bring very, very, will I say relevant, but very important people from the government to come. Like it was said earlier, we are bringing today, in this year, the chairman Senate Committee on Communications, who was former Minister of Information. He's going to be here. He's going to be in that conference. The chairman of Nigerian Port Authority is going to be in that conference. We are bringing personalities from the power sector. They will all be there. And if we gather all of this together, as many of us as will have connections, contacts to some of these top functionaries, there is no harm in talk to whether your cousin, your uncle, or your friend. Look, there's a forum we need to be. There's a forum we need to hear your voice. Let's bring them together. Like you rightly said, one person cannot make a country. One tree cannot make a forest. We are not an island. So we bring our hands, our hearts, our connections together, and let's form this. Let's gather together and speak with one voice. And I know that today is better than yesterday. And each year we hold this conference is always better. Just like we're doing this monthly thing, each time you hear somebody, maybe last month, you think, oh, that's the end of the matter. You hear another one again, you begin to hear another dimension entirely. And when we put all of them together, it makes sense to make us move forward. So we are working hard to see how we can make the environment of this industry very, very conducive. Up to today, it's sad to tell us that we don't have a regulatory body that can handle the industry up to today. And Nigeria, as large as we are, we stand as one of the very few countries in the whole world that has no regulation, a regulatory body. And we need that not to intimidate the operators, we need that to be our voice to the government so that the government will listen and say, look, this is the body that is saying this. This is the institute that is saying this. Let us look into it. Instead, you discover that many of the operators are disintegrated, they are distorted, their businesses are not going on fine. And even when they want to raise funds to boost their businesses, it's difficult for them. And like you said, if you don't know Mr. X that does not know Mr. Y and so on and so forth, it's like a brick wall. So we need some things that we need to do by simply knowing somebody who is there, who can do that, and take just a phone call. Please do this for this company, and it settles the matter. We have such environment that we need such a thing. So we encourage all of us to join hands as we are joining hands now, listening to ourselves in this forum to push it forward. We have affiliations, quite all right, but we're still pushing forward for more affiliations that will trigger our voice to be heard, and using the institute to cause the government to know this industry very well. And I believe we'll get there. Today is better than yesterday. We will definitely get there, but let's not relent our efforts. Our speaker today talked about consistency. The speaker before this one talked about consistency, Dr. Wole Elusakin, who has also even written a book on this. And you can see that it's running through the whole place, the issue of consistency. And we'll get there. So we thank you very much, Chief Wole. I'll give you Shitesi title now by saying Chief Wole. And we thank you for your presence and all that you have said. Let us gather at the international conference and gather strong voices as one voice. And we'll continue to do this until our voices are heard. Thank you very, very, very much. We appreciate everybody that's here.
Professor.
Let's tell our friends that they are missing a lot, especially those who are already members of CLMI professionally. They are missing a lot. They should gather. Let's be gathering ourselves like this and rub our minds completely. And we'll get to where we want to get to. Success is not a destination, but a process. Thank you very much, Chief Wole. We're grateful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all participants, to listeners, to speakers for today's edition. And on that notion, we come to the wrap of today's CLMI Members Entrepreneurship Connect. And my name is Simon Emmanuel. Paul would like to hand over this session to God and tell him thank you. On that note, I would like to call on Mrs. Salome Irowa. Are you there, ma'am? Right. In the absence of Ms. Salome Irowa, I would like to also call on another active persons who has been on throughout the call. Mr. Folabi, just kindly unmute and give us the closing prayer for this session. Right, I think Mr. Folabi, are you there, sir? Okay, Mr. Salome, okay, you can, right. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Thank you for joining. I would like you to round up this session with a closing prayer from you now.
Thank you very much. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, we We thank you for this gathering today. We thank you for the speaker, Mr. Wole. Thank you for all the wisdom and the knowledge he has downloaded to us in this brief time. And we say, be thou exalted, O mighty name of Jesus. Even at this time, we lift before you, even as he has given us so much, we ask, O Lord, that you refill and replenish him in knowledge, in strength, and wisdom in the mighty name of Jesus. And we ask, O Lord, that you continue to prosper his business in the mighty name of Jesus. And even at this time, I lift up CLMI as an organization before you. This organization, we thank you for the chairman and every member of this organization. Father, we ask that you continue to strengthen the organization, that it will continue to move forward and strength to strength in the mighty name of Jesus. Commit that have been on this platform today, O Lord, that all that we have heard and today positively to our life, help us to grow all to your glory in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you, Father Lord. In Jesus' mighty name we are praying.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Very much, and see
Thank-
you at October's edition of CLMI Members Entrepreneurship Connect. Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Very
you.
much. Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.